Guys, oh man, oh man, oh man, not again. We are right past the draft, y'all. This is Phantm Phuego. This is the NBA draft special. So if you're not really into drafts or nothing, this is probably not the conversation for you. This is probably not the conversation for you. Come back on Sunday. Have an amazing guest in the building for Sunday. Come back then. Comedian Jevon M Johnson. It's a dope show. But anyway, my people that's in the hoops, we about to have a hoops conversation. We about to have a hoops conversation right now. It's your boy Phantm Phuego. This is his ghetto point of view, bringing you the news, views, previews, and reviews with just a twist of his ghetto point of view. Congrats to Anthony Edwards for going number one. Congrats to Anthony Edwards for going number one. Congratulations to Anthony Edwards for going number one. He's a great player. He's a solid pick. The dude is a nightmare. The dude is an absolute nightmare. I watched him play at Georgia. I watched him play in high school. The dude is an absolute nightmare. If I had to compare him to anybody, I don't really like comparing players because, they're going to grow and evolve into a hybrid of players. They're going to take a little bit from everybody from the previous generation. But to be honest with you, I would say he's like the new Dwayne Wade. He's going to be taller than Dwayne Wade. He may bulk up to be bigger than Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade was a big guard for his time. Very strong, very solidly built. Anthony Edwards, to me, gonna be that plus. If Carl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, Carl Anthony Edwards could figure out a way to make it work, this is going to be special. They got D'Angelo Russell. That's a sick big three. That's a three that could really do some things together for a while. I like it. James Wiseman, Memphis kid, played for Penny Hardaway in high school and college and in the AAU. Pretty much has been being groomed by Penny Hardaway and the team around Penny Hardaway for a very long time. Shout out to Penny Hardaway for being an amazing coach, an amazing developer of talent. I look very much forward to seeing Penny Hardaway be a coach in the NBA very soon because you can't develop this high level of talent and not get a look to come up the ladder eventually. But if I was Penny Hardaway, I would stay in Memphis for as long as possible because you're the mayor out there. And at this point, the NBA is at your whim and at your disposal. What do I mean by that? This dude is already proven he can create championship level caliber talent. He's already proven on the high school ranks and in the college ranks that his teams are going to be something to mess with. He's going to teach those players how to play at the next level from a very young age. So I feel the sky's the limit for him, and pretty much he can get whatever offer he wants. If he wants to coach the Knicks one day, I think Penny Hardaway would be able to do it. But why now? Stay in Memphis, get paid, be the mayor in Memphis, and just enjoy life. Enjoy life, man. You deserve it, Penny. After everything you went through, you absolutely deserve it. LaMelo Ball, number 3 to the Hornets. We gonna dig in. This is his ghetto point of view. Bringing you news, views, previews, and reviews with just a twist of his ghetto point of view. Hope you guys are having an amazing week so far. If you haven't dug into any of our previous episodes, please feel free to do so. And make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the show. Hit your notifications bell so you know Wednesdays and Sundays when we get to it like it's nothing to it. You know how we do it. You'll be right there with us. We're going to have a good time. Digging into this. All right, so LaMelo Ball, drafted number 3 by the Charlotte Hornets. So it's projected to go as high as number 1. It's arguably the most talented player in the draft. He's arguably the most talented player in the draft. For him to go number 3 says, the other teams were just going for fit because D'Angelo Russell was not having none of LaMelo Ball coming to Minnesota. And you could see it every time they were interviewing him about it. He was nervous. He was depressed. He was having anxiety. He would get angry. He would get defensive. He's like, oh, yeah, if that's the direction the team wants to go, because there's no way you can give LaMelo Ball the freedom he needs to control the team and run the offense while also giving D'Angelo Russell and Big Cat the touches they like and them being able to do the things that they've been comfortable doing with each other since high school. You're going to have the two main stars of the team very upset, very angry and resentful. And that's not really a way you want to run a franchise. They're not in absolute rebuilding mode at this point. They're in 1 or 2 more pieces and they'll get over the hump mode. So I don't think bringing in a LaMelo Ball into that type of environment would have probably been the most ideal. It would have just caused a lot of tension and anxiety, resentment, anger, unnecessary fights. So yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. James Wiseman going to the Golden State Warriors, very plug and play player. I think that they thought when they got Willie Cauley-Stein that they finally have found their rim runner who could, do things at an elite level. And while Willie Cauley-Stein is dope, I really like his game. I don't know if Big Trill is the player that they think he is. For some reason, these Kentucky big men don't really work out as much as the guards do from Kentucky. Something to look at. A lot of these Kentucky big men don't have the same level of staying power as the guards do. Just my thoughts. Just my thoughts. So, if you're a parent and you have a son who's an elite prospect, but he's much taller than like a guard player, and he'll get asked to play like power forward or center or some small forward in college. Don't send him to Kentucky. Don't send him to Kentucky unless they get rid of Coach Cal. But as long as Coach Cal is at Kentucky, point guards and shooting guards, your son is going to be a point guard or a shooting guard, send him to Kentucky. All day, every day, twice on Sunday. But not if he's going to be a big man, because Coach Cal will make your son a polished big man. But I don't know if the way he's training big men translates to today's game. I'm not saying he can't figure it out. He's Coach Cal. Come on. I can't tie Coach Cal's shoes when it comes to coaching, and I completely understand that. But, it's very apparent that there's something going on with the guards there, that they're having an amazing amount of staying power in the league. And the bigs, save for a couple, I think Bam Adebayo went there, save for guys like Bam who stick out. What else are we saying? Yeah. So James Wiseman going to Memphis was a good look because he's been being cultivated by Penny for the longest. So why not? He's a plug and play player right there in their system. He's big. He's gonna run the rim. He can pop out to free throw. He can do free throw extended for those that may not be that much into ball. Free throw extended. He can do like 15 to 18 feet. So he can hit shots from around the key very comfortably. He can dribble, he can get on the move. You can do a lot of stuff in the half court. And he's a gazelle in the full court. He's going to run. He's going to catch alleys. On the other side, he's going to block shots. He's going to take up a lot of space. He can move, very smoothly around screens, through screens, up and or under screens. He's an amazing player. He's very athletically gifted, very nimble. And, the ceiling is the roof for that young brother. The sky's really the limit. So I think he'll be dope. LaMelo Ball. Oh, shit. Yeah, this is the guy I want to talk about. LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball is arguably the greatest player available in the draft. 6'6", 6'6" and a quarter, 6'6" and 2 quarters. depending on who you ask, point guard, almost 6'7" point guard without shoes on. With shoes on, you talking about maybe a 6'8", almost 6'9" guy. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Dribble, pass, and shoot. Though the shooting's a little quirky, the dribbling and the passing, it is elite level. Elite level. This guy's going to run your offense. He's going to get everybody involved. He's going to make people want to play with him. And he's a lock-up player on D. I know a lot of people say, oh, he don't play D. This dude cherry picks a bunch of steals from the other team all the time. He's constantly, he's active. He's alert. Because he's a point guard, he knows where the ball is going to go. So he puts himself in passing lanes. He sees the plays that the other team is running before they develop. And he gets himself in those lanes with those long, lanky arms and that long, lean frame to just slide in there and get the ball. He's very frequently known for when the other team is being lackadaisical with their offense and they're just trying to kick the ball in. He's famous for staying back, playing his man 94 feet, and getting in between the person he's defending and the inbounder or the person bringing the ball in from out of bounds and stealing those passes. He does that religiously, game after game after game. He's going to average a bunch of steals. He's going to average a bunch of assists. He's going to get his points up to between 17 and 20 in his first season. This dude's a nightmare. He's going to average a bunch of rebounds. He's 6'6". He's not afraid to get in there with the trees and dudes that's twice his weight. He never feels like the kid is fearless, man. The kid is fearless. I think that the sky's the limit for this young brother. I really do. I really, really do. I don't say that begrudgingly. I don't say that playing around. The sky's the limit for this young brother. I see him winning championships. I see him leading teams of happy players who enjoy playing around one another for a very long time. I think that this is going to be something special that we all enjoy for years and years to come. Do I think he stays with the Hornets his whole career? No. I don't see him and Michael Jordan being on the same page for long enough of a period of time. I can't see him letting a Michael Jordan smack him upside the head or yell at him crazy. But I mean, to be honest, when I think about it, it kind of sounds like Michael Jordan is just like LeVar. So maybe that is the type of environment he could excel in with that type of owner who also has a very hands-on approach with his team. I mean, it's possibly an environment he could excel in if he could take the pressure because, the whole city of Charlotte is on his back at this point. The whole city of Charlotte is on his back at this point. And they're going to be watching. I'm going to be watching. I'm sure many people will be watching. This dude was the most hyped player coming into the draft. And, he's just very, very, very talented. And he's a business darling. He's already got huge brand deals, huge notoriety. He's been on ESPN. He's done the full gamut of different television shows for years and years and years now, since he was like 14 years old. He's been literally a national sensation. And since about 15, 16, he's been an international sensation. So really, the sky's the limit for this young brother, and I'm definitely going to be interested to see how this goes. Probably won't be watching as much NBA ball because, I'm kind of really done with the players. But I love ball so much, and I've been following LaMelo for such a long time that would probably reinvigorate. And I'm sure the NBA is banking on that. People that kind of turned away from hoops this season to now be like, oh, but LaMelo's in now. And I'm sure they're banking on that to help bring viewership back because this year's finals and stuff was horrible. So, while a team like the Hornets might get a bump in viewership, especially, with people watching their highlights and stuff, I don't know if they'll get a necessarily bump in game watch. But, people watching the highlights, people sharing the highlights, people buying the merch. So their advertising will go way up. Their merch sales will go way up. Charlotte will be a destination for other players in the these next few years, as long as this LaMelo situation works out and they can lock him up long term. I see many, many bright things in their future. Patrick Williams, forward from FSU, solid pick for the Bulls at number 4. A lot of people were surprised. I mean, they left so many amazing players on the board, but I guess they felt that getting him at the forward spot was a need they needed to fill. I can't really see that because they have so many amazing forwards, centers, small forwards, tweeners between 3 and 5 already that I don't really see why they needed that. But hey, wish that brother nothing but luck. Isaac Okoro from Auburn is going to Cleveland. Cleveland needs all the talent they can get, so why not? Onyeka Okongwu, actually a teammate of LaMelo Ball's, who spent his college time at USC but played high school ball with LaMelo and Chino Hills. He went number 6 to the Hawks. That whole Chino Hills team is going to go down as quietly one of the best high school teams ever. And nobody's going to give the credit, but shout out to LaVar Ball, shout out to Big Baller Brand. They put Chino Hills on the map. They made other highly touted players want to come and play there because they know they would have a national schedule and get those players the coverage they needed to get them drafted as highly as they possibly could. And now you got LaMelo Ball from that team in the NBA, Onyeka Okongwu from that team in the NBA, Lonzo Ball from that team in the NBA, Jello Ball from that team in the G League. And there's another player that was on that team that is slated to get drafted next year, plus their cousin, Andre Ball, who was also on that team, plays at Pepperdine. So, and he's looking like he's either gonna, come into the league as an unrestricted free agent or go overseas and start killing and getting checks. So, I mean, quietly it's kept. That Chino Hills team, one of the best teams in high school history. And, they've all been very successful and at the college ranks. Well, save for LaMelo, who decided to just go straight and start his pro career overseas in Australia and won the Rookie of the Year, stuff that nobody is talking about. This kid played only 12 games, shut it down, and still won Rookie of the Year. No one is talking about that, but it's okay because I get it because we got to be haters. I understand. But anyway, the LaMelo Ball, the Ball family, the Big Baller Brand, the LaVar Ball effect is real. And it is taking hold in the NBA. And as these players continue to grow and develop, and if these players become stars, you gotta give this man his due. Killian Hayes, an amazing big guard. He's gonna do just fine. I think that was a great pickup for Detroit. I know they wanted to try to see if they could move up and get LaMelo. I know LaVar wanted LaMelo to go to Detroit, but things unfortunately didn't work out that way. Obi Toppin going to the Knicks. I know Obi's a hometown kid. He killed it at Dayton. A lot of people are comparing him to a modern-day Amari Stoudemire, who shot 40% from 3 in college, which is a much shorter line, though they've moved it back a little bit in recent years. I don't personally see him being this amazing difference maker. But, next to RJ, he could probably do some special things. I just don't know if you spend a top 10 pick on a guy who can't create his own offense in 2020. That's my whole thing. That's my thing. And then you got Denny Avdija, who went right behind him at number 9 to Washington. I think they're going to regret that. I think Denny Avdija is going to become an amazing player, and they're going to regret it. I think they're going to regret it. People telling me, oh, don't put that into the air. Like, put it into the air. The brother plays the game he plays. I'm not wishing a game on him that he doesn't currently have. Oh, you're just a hater. You're just a hater. You're just a Knicks hater. If you see, like, I got big producers arguing with me, like, yo, people really are mad at me right now for my analysis on this Obi Toppin draft pick. Obi isn't a great player, and why his own, all of that. He would love to put the city on his back. He's going to work extremely hard out here. All of those things are true, but he's an undersized big man in a league where you got players like LeBron who slide over to the 4 once in a while. Players like KD who slide over and play the 4 or 5 sometimes when their team is going small. What is he going to do when he has to play LeBron? Can he hold LeBron? Can he hold Kyle Kuzma? Can he hold Anthony Davis? And that's just the Lakers. I'm not saying the dude is not nice. I'm not saying he's not great. I'm not saying he hasn't played against and practiced against NBA players for a very long time. He wouldn't get drafted top 10 if he didn't check all those boxes. But I think we're going a little too far if we acting like this kid is about to come in here and put NY on his back and bring us a chip. And I don't mean us as in us. I mean, New Yorkers. Because let me not sit here and act like I'm a New York Knicks fan. Because I'm clearly not. I'm clearly a New York Knicks analyst. I've been a Houston Rockets fan for a very, very, very long time. Since my sister used to be into the Houston Rockets when I was little. She got me into the Houston Rockets. And I've been a fan of them since they went back to back. And I'm not flip-flopping from that. They can trade Harden, Westbrook. They can trade the whole team. I'm still going to be a Rockets fan. I was a Rockets fan during all the down years when they had Steve Francis. I was a Rockets fan when they had Tracy McGrady and Yao Ming. I'm just a Rockets fan. That's just the team I bop with. It is what it is. Oh, you should move to Houston then. No, I don't have to. It just is what it is, guys. Get over it. Denny Avdija is a much better player than Obi Toppin. He's just more skilled, and they both play the forward. Denny Avdija can also play 1, 2, 3, or 4. I do not understand how this conversation is even happening, where people are like, "Oh, Obi Toppin is a better player than Denny Avdija." In what galaxy? On the box, yes, he will pound Denny Avdija into the box all day, but they already have Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson and Obi Toppin do a lot of the same things, and Mitchell Robinson is a 7-footer doing it. They already have Kevin Knox. They were supposed to have Kristaps Porzingis, but they let Phil Jackson ruin that. So I don't know what else to say. We'll see how this works. I wish Obi Toppin nothing but the best, but I know he's going to have a great career, but I don't know if he's going to be this killer that people are going to beg him to be, and the fact that he's New York's own, that's a lot of pressure that I don't know if this kid is going to be able to handle. We'll see. The boy Sticks, a.k.a. Jalen Smith, worked extremely, extremely hard and got himself into the top 10. Very proud of that young brother. He's going to do a lot of great things for Phoenix. He shores them up at the power forward spot so DeAndre Ayton could be naturally himself at the 5. And, so you've got this rim runner who can jump. He can stretch out the floor a little bit too. So having them with Chris Paul, and with Devin Booker, as long as he doesn't book up out of there, it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice. Devin Vassell, guard out of FSU, dope. FSU is getting a lot of players drafted in the top picks this year. I see you guys. The Spurs always know what they're doing. So I can't be mad at it. Would I have taken Tyrese Halliburton, who then went next, number 12? I would have taken Tyrese Halliburton at number 8. If we wasn't going to take Denny Avdija, if the Knicks wasn't going to take Denny Avdija, I would have taken Tyrese Halliburton. Get the ball out of RJ's hands. Let RJ be his natural 2-3 self. Let him be a scoring wing self, combo guard forward self, and get somebody who can really run the one. Just my particular perspective. Kyra Lewis Jr. out of Alabama. Dope pickup for the Pelicans. Aaron Naismith from Vanderbilt. He's been killing for years. Really enjoyed watching him play in the NCAA March Madness tournament a couple years back. He really, really, really does his thing. I believe his father's also the coach at Vanderbilt. So that's definitely a solid pickup for the Celtics. They're definitely going to do good things with that pick. I can't say anything negative about that. Cole Anthony. Number 15, guard out of UNC to the Magic, bringing some of that New York swag there I was saying. So him and Mo Bamba going run a nice New York style screen and roll out there. I think that's dope. Like my name was Mo Bamba. I do think Cole Anthony's very undersized for the league, so he will have to make sure his threes is killing. And not just in those Black Ops workouts, and not just when he's working out one-on-one with Melo. he has to make sure his game translates to a 5-on-5 game in the league. I really do feel like he got drafted more off of potential, which all of these players did, than off of what he can bring in immediately. Because I don't see Cole Anthony contributing high level to a team for quite a while. Just my particular perspective. I wish the kid nothing but the best. He's an amazing young man, New York's own, very, very humble kid. Well, as humble as you could be when you know you're going to go to the NBA and you've known for years and years and years, and your father's an NBA vet. As humble as you could be, shouts to Greg Anthony. As humble as you could be when you come from that type of environment. You know what I'm saying? They put him out here in Catholic school. He still chilled out here and hung with the Goonies whenever he felt like it. So, shouts to Cole Anthony. Shouts to Cole Anthony. I think he'll have a great career. I think he just needs to work on some things and get his body into shape, his mind right, and get focused. Because I feel like a lot of things just were handed to him very early, and so I don't know if he ever got out of that having things handed to him phase. So we'll see. It's hard. It's hard being expected to be great. It's hard when you have that type of target on your back from so young. You know what I'm saying? This kid has been a killer. He's been a monster. And a lot comes with that. So he's a young man. He's very, very young, and the sky's the limit for him. Just like when he jumps out the gym. So the sky's the limit. You know what I'm saying? Him being undersized won't matter as much as long as his athleticism continues to excel and advance. He doesn't have any major injuries, which takes away his explosiveness or his first step or that amazing leaping ability. He'll be able to get up, over, and around larger defenders. God willing, for what would be hopefully an amazing, illustrious career where he'll put some banners up. So definitely shouts to Cole Anthony, man. Isaiah Stewart out of Washington, kind of between a 4-3, mostly a 4 till he gets gets more of his offensive game right. But the dude is like, he's built solid. He's a brick house. He's a killer. I really like that pickup by Detroit. Alexei Pukasevsky went to OKC at 17. Definitely shouts to them for that pickup. Josh Green is who I would have picked, but I guess they don't really feel they need more guards right now in OKC. So why not? He went to Dallas at number 18. A great kid. I think he could have really went as high as top 10 this year. He's had some injuries, so people kind of drifted away from him, and he's not in the limelight as he used to be. But I think the dude's a problem. Sadiq Bey out of Villanova, very solid pickup by Detroit. Once you're starting to get into the number 20s and stuff, you're drafting more on what you think a player is going to be. But I mean, again, we still talk about the top 30 players, drafted. So these are all still amazing talents. Precious Achiuwa, hey, out the city. To me, he does a lot of the same things Bam Adebayo does, so that'll be a good place for him to go and learn. And the Heat know what they doing. Precious, to me, is Bam 2.0. Literally Bam 2.0. And so while they probably won't keep both these players long term, him getting in there and training and working with Bam is the most ideal environment for him. He's a hardworking man. He got the city on his back. I think he'll be dope. I've got the privilege to see him live in high school and stuff. He's really, really a solid player. Tyrese Maxey, Kentucky. To me, Tyrese could have went as high as top 10. Going to the 76ers at 21 is going to allow him to be that spark plug that they need off the bench. And if his game really translates the way I feel it will, he can be that additional 10 to 12 points a night that they need. Coming from the 2-guard position, he can also run a little bit of the 1. I think he'll definitely be a reliever, a safe valve when they can't find any offense between Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. And being on a team with guys like Simmons and Embiid will open up the floor for him so much, because I don't think they had as many killers at Kentucky as they normally are accustomed to having, these years that Maxey was there, so he didn't get to really shine like he should. But when he did have the ball in his hand, oh man, he lets the ball go from anywhere. This kid is a problem. He is an absolute nightmare. So great pickup out of 76ers. Zeke Naji from Arizona, picked up out of Nuggets. The Nuggets literally have not done anything wrong in the draft for a long time. So I have nothing but good things to say about them. Leandro Bomaro went to the Timberwolves. Solid pickup. Big guard, dribble, pass, and shoot. Very athletic. I like him. RJ Hampton, though, is who I would have picked if I was the Minnesota Timberwolves. And, of course, they let him drop to Denver. Denver always gets the good players. I was literally teasing somebody that we should call the Knicks the New York Nuggets, because literally, if you look back from like 2012 to now, all the players that the Knicks could have had their hands on, the Nuggets ended up getting. Rudy Gobert. I don't even want to go down this list, but just to name a couple: Rudy Gobert, Michael Porter Jr., Bol, and I'll leave it at that. But I could really make the Knicks fans feel bad right now. But, RJ Hampton is another, I feel, sleeper, amazing player. He played overseas in Australia with LaMelo as well. So he seasoned himself against grown men, and he actually played on one of the teams that did amazingly well in the Australian League. And I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the NBA for quite a while. The Knicks did pick up Emmanuel quickly, who's a great Kentucky guard. A bit small, team leader, amazing hands, super blind in speed. Just got to work on his range. I think he'll be fine. Solid pickup by the Knicks. Not the point guard I would have hoped they would pick with the ability that they had to pick such a high-level point guard. But, I think Quickly's going to be dope. Peyton Pritchard, guard out of Oregon. Dope pickup out of Celtics. Very solid player. Udoka Azubuike, big man out of Kentucky. I think the Jazz are moving on from Gobert. So, they need to find some solid players that can fulfill that position. I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. I'm not sold on Azubuike as a two-way player. Definitely on the defensive side, he has tons of potential. He just has to, lean himself out a little bit. And being in the NBA environment will do that for you. They'll get you, the medical staff that you need. They'll get you the food staff that you need to make sure you're on the right type of diet to get you to your maximum capabilities. And having him with Spider in Utah, I think is dope. Jaden McDaniels, forward out of Washington, be dope. He's a good, solid pickup. Minnesota picked up a lot of good pieces. We'll see what happens. Washington had a really, really, really solid team. They had some amazing players on that Washington squad. So, sky's the limit. Malachi Flynn, I feel he's the sleeper of this draft. I feel like Malachi Flynn out of San Diego State is the sleeper of this draft. In a few years, Malachi Flynn is going to be a problem for everybody. And then Desmond, and he went to Toronto, the place where they got OG Anunoby, the place where they got Spicy P, Pascal Siakam. Toronto knows how to pick them, knows how to groom them, and they're going to be a problem for a while. Desmond Bane, guard out of Texas Commonwealth, goes to Memphis at 30. And, what can you say about that? Terrell Terry starts the second round, guard out of Stanford, goes to the Dallas Mavericks. I think that was a pretty solid pickup. Vernon Carey, really, really, really highly touted player coming out of high school. Didn't do as much at Duke. I think that was more Duke's system, but I think now with the Hornets, him and LaMelo Ball really be able to express themselves and show out. Vernon Carey has a lot more in his game than he was allowed to show at Duke because, Duke is very, Mike Krzyzewski's system is very, it's a system. It's a system that doesn't always get the most out of its players because he's very much into you playing your role and you sacrificing for the team. But now in the NBA, I think he'll be able to show that he can do a lot more. I like Vernon Carey's game a lot. Daniel Turu out of Minnesota, big guy. I think he'll be all right in the league. I've been watching Minnesota for a while, because Isaiah Washington, a.k.a. Senior Jelly fan, was playing out there, so I got to see him play a bit I think he's a dope player. I definitely think he's an NBA player. Um, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with him. I'm not really sold on what the Knicks did this year. I'm not really sold on what the Knicks did this year. I'm not really sold on what the Knicks did this year. If you was gonna pick up Daniel Oturu, why also get Obi Toppin when y'all already have Mitchell Robinson and Kevin Knox? I'm just very confused at the logjam that they're creating at the forward spot. None of these players are gonna have the room to grow and make mistakes and thrive and try to survive season. So we'll see what happens. Uh, Theo Meldon went to the 76ers with the 34th pick. Solid, solid. The 76ers know how to train, know how to draft, know how to prep. They'll get the most out of him. Xavier Tillman out of MSU. I think that's a great pickup for the Kings. They definitely needed to show up the center spot. He's really dope. Tyler Bay, a killer from Colorado, went to the Mavericks at the 36th pick. I think he'll be great. Vic Krejci, I've only seen some highlights of him. So, we'll see. DC seems to be definitely going international with their picks. So I can't be mad at what they've been doing. Yeah, I can't be mad at what they've been doing. And Bradley Beal looks like he might be on the move, as well as John Wall. So they definitely needed to bring in some guards. Saban Lee out of Vanderbilt, guard, big guard. Detroit Pistons got a solid pickup there. Elijah Hughes, guard out of Syracuse. Guard out of Syracuse. Great pickup for the Utah Jazz, especially getting him in the second round. I think he's going to be an absolute sleeper. Robert Woodard from Mississippi State. Great solid pickup at the guard for the Sacramento Kings. Trey Jones, killer. Been a killer since high school. Been a leader. Him going to the Spurs, to me, makes absolute sense. His older brother is already in the league. He's been playing against league caliber talent for a long time. And he's that type of leader. He's got veteran savvy. He's got that moxie. He's got that I'm not afraid attitude that, they love in San Antonio. So I think that was a very good pickup, especially to get him so late in the draft. Nick Richards out of University of Kentucky. Again, y'all know how I feel about forwards. I think, being in Charlotte might be a lot for him. Being under those bright lights, having LaMelo there, having Jordan there. Let's see what happens. Jamius Ramsey, guard, picked up by the Kings. Solid pickup. At 44, the Bulls picked up Marko Simonovic. I haven't seen his game too much. So, I've only seen some highlights. He looks decent. We'll see what happens. Jordan and Nwora. I think that's a great pickup. The Bucks are definitely in a rebuild mode. Giannis looks like he up out of there. Giannis is up out of there. Bogdanovich don't even want to go there. That whole situation looks a hot mess. I don't know what's happening with the Bucks right now, but I think it's Giannis' time to go, and I think they just need to start over. Portland finally got to draft CJ Leb, forward out of Washington State University. I think that was a solid pickup. Boston got Yam Madar, guard overseas. I think that's great. Nico Mannion fell all the way to the 48th pick. I think he's going to be a killer in the league. I do not understand how this happened. Yeah, I understand he is not the most athletic player. But to me, this guy is an insanely gifted basketball player. He's an insanely gifted basketball player. Yeah, he's not LaMelo. He doesn't have the athleticism and stuff. But, this dude does everything right on the court. So we'll see what happens. Great pickup by the Golden State Warriors, if you ask me. I think him learning with Curry, it's going to be problems. Them practices between those two, insane. Isaiah Joe, guard out of Arkansas, dope. They'll pick up for the 76ers. They got a lot of really good talent this year. Skylar Mays, guard out of LSU, going to Atlanta. I think he'll be very nice next to Trae Young. Justinian Jessup, guard out of BSU, Boston State University. He'll be dope. The Rockets got Kenyon Martin Jr., who decided to go play overseas and then come back. So I think that'll be a really good pickup for them. Very solid, son of an NBA player. I think at the 52nd pick, he's a great gamble. He can jump out the gym just like his dad. And I think he's been gearing himself up to be a beast and a force in the league. And I think a lot of teams are going to regret letting him fall so low. Cassius Winston, another player who I understand doesn't have the mobility some people would want, but he's a leader, he's a vet, and he can score. Uh, he led Michigan for tons of years. You know, Michigan don't play those games. They put out dogs and killers. Last player to come that I love from Michigan, Saginaw Pride on Draymond Green. I see him in the same vein as a Draymond, just he's a guard version. So I think I like him a lot, and I think he'll be great. Cassius Stanley, a guard out of Duke, has an insane amount of upside, and he may, at some point, if he works hard enough, usurp Victor Oladipo there. Jay Scrub was taken with the 55th pick for the Clippers. I think that's a very, very solid pickup. Grant Riller, haven't really seen much of his game, taking 56 from the Hornets. Reggie Perry, dope player. Let's see what he does with the Nets. I'm not sure if they'll even have room for him in their rotation once Kevin Durant comes back 100%, to be honest. So we'll see. Hopefully they just let him develop and then he can kind of get picked up somewhere else. Paul Reed out of DePaul, dope, went to the 76ers. I think that's a solid piece for them. Jalen Harris, guard out of Nevada, went to Toronto. Can't say nothing but dope things about Toronto. Their development staff is going to get everything they need out of this young brother. And lastly, Sam Merrill went with the 60th pick to the Pelicans. I like this draft. I mean, certain teams I think could have did much better. You know, I think the Knicks did trash. I think the Knicks did a horrible job. And sometimes it feels like the Knicks do a horrible job on purpose. I don't mean to say that, man, but Jesus Christ, sometimes it feels like the Knicks do a horrible job on purpose. I don't know what to say, man. I really don't know what to say about them sometimes. It seems like they just like losing. It seems like they like losing. It seems like they enjoy losing, enjoy being hated on, enjoy having people like Stephen A. Smith just go on about will they never win. Enjoy people coming in with the paper bags. At this point, it seems like that's kind of a part of their marketing play, and their strategy is just to be this horribly losing team out of New York. And New York being about winning and grinding and getting to it, you have this team that just constantly never makes it. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic where you have this hustle and bustle, grind, get to it, be successful city, and then you have this team that hasn't been that in a very, very, very long time. So just a very interesting dynamic. Very interesting dynamic overall. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that, man. That was just rough. But yeah, man. That is my take of the draft and all of its splendor. That is my take on the draft and all of its splendor. I know some people are like, "Oh, you're just a hater. You just don't like the Knicks, and you just want to see the Knicks continue to lose, and you just don't know. You're just a bad person, Phantm Phuego. You don't see how they're rebuilding and they're working hard. Well, you don't see how they're doing. They're doing their thing." All right, so let's according to BleacherReport.com, shout out to Bleacher Report. Their winners and losers from last night's draft. They definitely have the Detroit Pistons as a winner. I wholeheartedly agree. Loser, Minnesota Timberwolves, without question. You do not draft the number 1 pick and not take Lonzo Ball. You do not draft with the number 1 pick and not take Lonzo Ball. I wholeheartedly agree. I know he's a good fit. I know it would have caused problems. But actually, no, I don't know if I agree with this. I think that this was a good pick if you want to keep your team intact and not cause internal strife. If you want to just scrap the team and start from the beginning, then yes, take Ball. So, I feel you, Bleacher. Winner, James Wiseman. James Wiseman, without question, won because he's getting plugged into a system and into a team that's going straight to the playoffs. And he's going to get a lot of playoff experience from a very young age, and he's going to turn into the player that everybody knows he can be. The Charlotte Hornets, without question, won. At number 3, the Charlotte Hornets drafted Bleacher Report's number 1 overall prospect LaMelo Ball, who would immediately help the NBA's number 28 offense. Passing translates, and Ball was on pace to finish second in the NBL and assist as a teenager. He's a special playmaker with unique 6'7" size for a lead ball handler, and though there are questions about his shooting, he'll benefit from playing alongside Devontae Graham and P.J. Washington. No player in the draft possesses more star power, and he'll have Michael Jordan on speed dial to help channel it. Losers, the Houston Rockets. Dum, dum, dum. This is my team, y'all. Just over a month after the 2017-2018 Executive of the Year, Daryl Morey left the Houston Rockets with Russell Westbrook's contract and a mostly barren cupboard of draft assets. He somehow managed to overhaul and address every Philadelphia 76ers weakness in one day. Before the draft, he unloaded the ill-fitting Al Horford to the OKC for Danny Green and Terrence Ferguson. Absolutely great. Morey also had to attach draft picks and the rights to Vasily Micic to OKC to take the contract, but it was worth it to get rid of a pact that was previously thought to be an albatross. Then, during the draft, Philly landed one of the best shooters, Seth Curry, for Josh Richardson and the 36th pick. It also got Tyrese Maxey, a top 10 scoring prospect, and the class at number 20. Yes, this is true. They gave up some great pieces, but they took on a ton of good talent. By the end of the draft, the Sixers had presumed a starting 5 of Curry, Green, Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, and Bellingham. Up-and-coming defender Matisse Thybulle was still around to come off the bench, and they got Maxey. Damn. That lineup fit Simmons and EB far better than the one that surrounded those two in 2019-2020. Green and Curry will space the floor, and Harris makes much more sense as the team's 4 than he does as a 3 in today's NBA. Even without a blockbuster James Harden trade, the 76ers became a far more modern contender in the Eastern Conference. Morey's old team, on the other hand, didn't end up with a player drafted in the first 50 picks and was left stewing over whether it'll trade Harden and Westbrook. Sacramento Kings also considered a winner. Yeah, Halliburton is going to be a problem, but how does he fit next to De'Aaron Fox? Is De'Aaron Fox getting drafted, traded? While Fox brings the downhill attacking and explosiveness Halliburton lacks, the rookie complements Fox with special passing IQ and spot-up shooting. So I guess they're trying to say they can see them playing together. We'll see. I think at some point you have to trade Fox as Halliburton continues to grow. Just my perspective, just my 2 cents. Just my perspective and just my 2 cents. Killian Hayes makes the Pistons an absolute winner, and yeah, he's a special guy. They can rebuild around Killian Hayes. So I definitely agree with some of these remarks. Shouts to the Bleacher Report on that regard. Yeah, guys, this is just a very interesting draft. It was fun to watch. It was interesting. I like how they set it up, how they had to do it remotely. So they had to send all the players, the top 30 players, literally all 30 teams' hats. It's a very interesting show. It was interesting to watch. It was definitely dope. The NBA always puts on a good show. It's a very interesting thing to watch. This is his ghetto point of view. Bring you the news, views, previews, and reviews with just a twist of his ghetto point of view. Thank you guys so much for always checking in with me. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Please like, share, and subscribe to the show if you have not done so already. What are you waiting for? Make sure you hit that notification bell and make sure you know when the show is going live. Wednesdays and Sundays when we regularly do it. We switched this one to Thursday morning so I could see all of the news. It was very late into the evening and all the trades and stuff were done. And then I also had to do an amazing interview with comedian Jevon M Johnson, which will be airing on Sunday's broadcast. So please make sure you stick in for that. Shouts to Jevon M Johnson. That was a very, very dope interview. This dude's an amazing, amazing guy. And the sky's the limit for him. And that'll be on Sunday's show. And yeah, this is his ghetto point of view, guys. This was our draft day special. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening in. I've given you my takes. I think that the Knicks suck. The Knicks will continue to suck into the future. You can be mad at me all you want. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. If you have any issues with what I'm saying, his ghetto point of view at gmail.com. HISGHETTOPOINT OFVIEW, his ghetto point of view at gmail.com. Artists that want to have their stuff previewed in front of our audience, his ghetto point of view at gmail.com. Companies looking to have advertise your products in front of our diverse listening base, his ghetto point of view at gmail.com. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy the day. Enjoy it. Try to keep your heads as even keel. Try to be poised. Try to stay relaxed. It's gonna be a bumpy ride out here. It's freezing. They just decided that all the kids need to stay home again out here in New York City because the COVID rates have skyrocketed. And we'll definitely get into all these things and more on Sunday's show. This was just our draft day special, our post-draft special. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please, if you have any different opinions about anybody who went anywhere, if there's any play I didn't highlight that you think I should have, please send me their stats, send me their information. I'll definitely look it over. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. If this is your first time listening in, please like, subscribe to the show. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Sundays and Wednesdays is when we get it in. Thank you guys so much for your time. Could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're here with me. And I always humbly, truly appreciate that. Make sure you set your notifications so whatever platform you on, Anchor, Spotify, Republic Radio, etc., you're getting in. Amazon Radio, Google Radio. Make sure you tuned in and tell a friend to tell a friend. This is how we do it. Have a great night, guys. Peace and blessings. You guys have a great one. I'm out of here. I see you Sunday. Take it easy.